In this video, we're going to talk about how to store your keepsakes. So you've gone through all of your memorabilia stuff and you have your keep pile. What are you going to do with those things now? Hi, I'm Emily Steeman, your professional organizer, helping find the calm in the chaos. Now this is a part 6, the final part of a series that I've been doing about how to declutter memorabilia and working through your emotions, what to do with the emotions, things like that. So if you haven't watched the other videos in this series, be sure to watch the playlist that I'll link down below. But in this series, I've been talking a lot about keepsakes. One key thing that we've been talking about is that if you have too much sentimental clutter, the specialness of each item is diluted. And I think this is a very key thing to keep in mind as you are decluttering your memorabilia. If you have too much of an item or of a particular thing from someone, if you have too much, if you have 6 buckets of childhood photos, it's not serving anyone to be stored away, right? You have too much of the pictures in order for them to do anything for you. All they're doing is taking up space. So today we're going to talk about how to store these items. Number 1 is you're going to limit the space that you allow for these items. All right, limiting the space and saying to yourself, instead of these 6 buckets of memorabilia stuff, I'm going to narrow it down to 4. All right, limit the amount of stuff that you have to keep. And then when you fill up your allotted thing, that's it. That's as much as you get. When I was growing up, how I stored my letters that I wanted to keep was a small little shoebox. All right. And in the shoebox, once it got full, I had to go through all the letters in order to put more in, right? So, and as I went through them, I was like, oh, I don't need this anymore. I don't need this anymore. And I was able to get rid of some things. All right, so that's one option with the limit storage. It's totally up to you what you want to do. So you can have a small box, you can have a small filing box for like different papers, or my personal favorite, the memory binder, which I affectionately call it the lazy person scrapbook. So what this is basically just a 3-ring binder filled with all of your memories. So if it fits in like a page protector, put it in a page protector. If it doesn't, like it's a cool card or whatever, 3-hole punch the card and just stick it in there. It is so simple. No glue is necessary, all right? A 3-hole punch, some page protectors. Maybe I have some in mine, like recipe card holders for like little cards that I can just like slip in there, or postcards. Those are really nice if you have a lot of postcards or whatever. Or if you have letters that you don't want to 3-hole punch, but you do want to like access to. And this is amazing because when I decide to go through my memories, and someday when we have a larger house, I will hopefully be able to put this out and display it so that other people can enjoy these memories as well. Because that's the whole goal. Why keep these memories if they're just tucked away in a box? And this goes for if you are a parent and you are wanting to save things for your child. Decide on how much space each child will have. Like, what will they have? Will they have a box? Will they have a tote? Will they have a little shoe box? It's totally up to you to decide. And once you have decided the container, if the container gets filled, you need to purge the thing. And as the child gets older, you can let them decide what is important and what they want to give away. And keep this in mind, though, as you're helping your child do this and as you're doing this for your child. If you had stuff when you moved out and your parents were like, here you go, how much of that stuff did you actually want to keep? And is that the stuff that you still have to go through? And as you're thinking about this, think to yourself, how much am I actually keeping? Yes, I may have wanted it as a kid, but I don't want it anymore. All right, the second way to store keepsakes is to display them. If you have a pretty dish from a grandparent, display it. Put it in your kitchen. Put it somewhere where it won't break, but put it up high. Display it in a what are those things? Chest of drawers? China hutch. Put it in a china hutch if you have one. Or what I like doing is displaying it on top of my kitchen cupboards, because we have like a little space up there. Display it. That way, when guests come over or whatever, you can point to that and be like, yeah, that was my great grandmother's. Or yes, that was my grandfather's, right? And you can share their story with others. Use drawing picture frames. These frames will help you display your child's art, and you'll be able to store up to 25 pages in the back of it. And they're super easy to open up, stick in a new one, and then be done with it. Yay! All right, my next tip is to take a picture of large, bulky things that don't fit in your home, and then you can pass on the item to someone who wants it. And this, I think, is a really great idea, especially if you have no use for this particular thing and you feel like you have to keep it because it belonged to your great-great-great-grandmother or something, and but it has a story to tell. So take a picture of it, acknowledge that story, and pass it on to someone who can use it now. All right, maybe someone else in your family really wants it and could use it in their home. Or maybe you just find someone on Facebook Marketplace or take it to Goodwill. Hit the like button. Thanks. My next tip for you is to have a rule of only saving one item from an event. This will help decrease the clutter in your memorabilia pile. So maybe you're going on a trip, and instead of keeping a huge box of seashells that are just gonna sit in a box somewhere, maybe pick out your most favorite seashell and then display that item with your other things or near your photo pictures of that trip. All right, so then you can kind of be reminded of that trip. You have a little trinket to kind of show other than just pictures. And honestly, pictures do the job quite well just on their own. And lastly, pass things along to others who want them. Make sure that they actually do want them and they're not just taking it out of guilt or obligation. If you want to know more about the Lazy Person Scrapbook, be sure to check out this video right here, and I'll leave the playlist for the rest of the series down here as well. I will see you in the next video. Bye, friends!